Hey, what is up, everyone? Now, I have reviewed a few Zodiac pieces the past 2 years, including the new Super Seawolf Pro Diver. In that review, I mentioned how I had not reviewed the Compression 53 diver yet, and though there are newer versions of that with different dials and bezel inserts, with the case staying the same as this model, I had recently had a conversation with the new brand director, and I wanted to take a look at one of these models even though the case and crown and bezel is the same as previous models like the GMT and World Timer I reviewed. The Super Seawolf has a lot of history in the Zodiac brand, and you could say it's iconic, or Zodiac would at least hope that's how you would view these models. When I last looked at these pieces, I talked about how these models with the same cases and crowns and overall same silhouette didn't make sense to me, but what I did not take into account is there's a reason for it. The Super Seawolf was a prominent model in the past, and Zodiac wants it to become one of their core pieces moving forward. So you will see many versions of the Seawolf now and also moving forward. Some are just colorways, and some will have new dials or bezels. Some will be GMTs, and while I cannot give any details, they have some great looking pieces coming later this year and next. As you know, I am not here to market anything. I am sure Zodiac would love if I did that, and a brand's history and having a core lineup is very important. But I also take one watch at a time. So, what do I think of the case and the crown in this Compression 53 dive watch? Well, first things first, I still do find this 40mm case to wear a little small for me, and I still have not gotten used to this crown. I get that this model closely resembles models of old, but the crown is small and really not great to use, especially winding and screwing it back down. Now, don't get me wrong, overall, I think this design looks great, but I have to be practical with what I think of it. The black and red bezel, the pale yellow chapter ring, this crazy aqua blue sunray dial, and the red minute hand all work well together. If I told you this color combo without you seeing it, you would probably think that it would look like trash or be very tacky. But again, in my opinion, man, does this work, and it also does have a funky vintage vibe to it as well. The lime green or creamsicle Super Seawolf looks great as well, but this is one of my favorite combos I have seen so far. On a side note, while I was doing research for this review, I was looking on the website, the Zodiac website, and I found an all black model. It's a stainless steel with the same black bezel insert, but instead of the red, it has white black markers and then an all black dial with outlined black and white hands, and it still has that pale yellow chaptering. And man, that is a good looking piece as well. I'll pop a picture of it here on the screen. I just thought I would share that as it was another model or another color combo, I guess, that I really found attractive. Now, on this one, this dial is absolutely gorgeous. I truly mean that. This really catches the light, and the blue changes from light to dark blue, and it's just a great example of not only a great color, but also a great sunray pattern. The block hands and indices are robust and easy to read, but I think they could have condensed the branding a little bit on the dial. Having the logo and the brand and the model name all together is a little cluttered, and I could do without the automatic and water resistance plastered on the dial, but so many brands seem to do that. Maybe dropping the name and just leaving the logo and the Super Seawolf would look a little cleaner, but I'm probably in the minority on that. A large date window balances it all out, and it is easy to read and doesn't need a date magnifier to do so. Case finishing, the case back, and the crown, as I said, is pretty much the same as before, but this version came to me on a Zodiac branded Tropic rubber strap. Everyone is using a Tropic rubber strap these days, literally almost everyone, but these straps do have that vintage look, and this is a very good example of one and is extremely pliable and comfortable. On my 7.5-inch wrist, this is an easy to wear watch. The strap just fits me though, with just a little bit of room left over, just enough for both keepers to cover the tail. But if you have a large wrist, you will need another strap or maybe opt for the bracelet. I know Zodiac has a great looking bracelet, but I'm still not fond of the lack of an actual dive clasp. Even with the spring loaded end piece, the bracelet is just not for me. But I do dig it on this Tropic. It also keeps the price down with this at just $1,200 versus $1,500 if you go the bracelet route. The loom on this example is very good, and I have seen some complaints about the loom on certain Super Seawolf models not being that good. I know some of the skin diver variations and the refreshed models of these use an orange super luminova that doesn't look that great or hold a charge for too long, but in this instance the loom is more than sufficient and it does a good job of telling the time in the dark. Now, the big thing with Zodiac watches, especially for some, is the movement. Yes, this model uses the STP 1-11 movement, automatic movement, and I have heard from a few owners and from some watchmakers that these movements can be problematic. For those of you that don't know, STP is owned by Fossil, the parent company of Zodiac these days, and at its core, it is a clone of the ETA 2824, but there have been issues. Now, I've not had any issues myself over the years, but that doesn't mean that they do not exist. I have seen that STP has and is continuing to correct and improve the movements, so hopefully only good things moving forward. When looking at the Super Seawolf lineup, it's easy to see what Zodiac is going for. There is literally a flavor for everybody, and some limited edition models like this one that was done by Ariel Adams that I'll throw on the screen, and the Skin Diver or the GMTs and all the different colorways, they do offer customers a huge array of choices, and if you like to own multiples of a watch, well, there is enough difference in the colors and combos to appease the hardcore collectors. Myself, I don't know if I'd own multiples of a watch with the same exact case and crown, but if you find something you really like, I can understand it. I mean, Glycine does it with the Combat Sub. How many colors and versions are there now? I've lost count. And when I really like a pair of shoes or sneakers, I will buy multiple colors of, and of course, some collectors just love to have one of each. Different strokes for everyone, of course. As I said, Zodiac has a lot of things happening in the next year or so, but in the meantime, I can see why these retro 53 compression divers have been so popular, and it will be fun to see the new versions going forward. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section down below. A written review will be posted shortly on watchreport.com. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share it with your friends on all of your social media, and subscribe and hit notifications to see more. This is Don Evans from Watch Report. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.